Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And jazakumullah to all of you who arrived early and have been waiting really patiently. Can I have a student for the opening dua for today?
Assalamu alaikum. Can I request G2 611 to unmute their mic?
Assalamu alaikum. G2 611.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. So do you want to start with ta'awuz? And I'll read, and if you could read after me, is that okay?
Okay.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Jazakallah. Do you want to recite the translation?
I seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected.
Okay, and would you like to also read this English down here as to why we recite the ta'awuz before reciting the Holy Quran?
Why we recite ta'awuz before reciting Quran? Allah tells us in chapter 16 verse 99, and when thou recites Quran, seek refuge with Allah from Satan, the rejected.
Okay, so that's so that we can concentrate effectively and our mind doesn't wander while we're reciting the Holy Quran. Okay, and on to, sorry. Okay, go ahead if you want to read this. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
And the English?
In the name of Allah, the gracious, the merciful.
And again, if you could recite this English here.
Reciting Bismillah before every deed invokes the blessing of Allah upon the deed. It is sunnah to recite it before very good deed.
Okay, excellent. Jazakallah for that. So it is sunnah to recite it before every good deed. So we say Bismillah before every good deed. And of course, reciting the Holy Quran is the best of those deeds. Okay, Jazakallah. Sorry, okay, one second. We'll just quickly skip to. Go ahead and recite this dua for me. Rabbi zidni ilma.
Rabbi zidni ilma.
And the English?
Oh my Lord, increase me in knowledge.
Okay, and over here?
Taha 115.
Yes, that
verse
means
115.
yeah. So that's the chapter Taha, and the verse is 115. Do you want to read the English over here as well?
The Holy Quran has 114 chapters. Taha is the name of chapter 20. It has 136 verses. The above dua can be found in verse 115 of Surah Taha.
Jazakallah. Jazakallah G2 611. That was really good reading. Okay, on to the etiquettes. So we'll go through the etiquettes and I'll explain to you. Some of you are new to the class. So the etiquettes of the class are manners of the class. So what we expect from you sitting in this very special class, when we're reciting the Holy Quran, it is a special time and we need to be able to concentrate effectively, and the etiquettes help us to do this. So we should be in a state of purity, and that means we should have done ablution, which is wudu, before we join the class. Obviously, we need to be clean while we're reciting the word of Allah. Then we should also have clean clothes. And again, a clean body and clothes equals a clean mind, and you can recite the Holy Quran more effectively. So your head should be covered. So Atfal should be wearing a topi, and the girls should preferably be wearing a dupatta or a scarf covering their heads. You should be sitting in a quiet place. And why is this important? So sitting in a quiet place while we're reciting the Holy Quran will enable you to concentrate on your recitation, and it will enable you to learn more effectively. But whilst we're reciting in this class, every other student is also listening. And if you're in a quiet place, they will be able to listen effectively and learn effectively. If you're not in a quiet place, it will disturb the class and students won't be able to learn effectively. So that's really important. Try not to sit in a room where there's a TV, and try not to sit where there will be noise. Okay, and a parent should be present. The importance of this is so that you can be helped when you need help. So while we're reciting to you, sometimes you may have a question or something, and your parent sitting next to you can help you with this. Okay, and onto the use of the correct ID. I've noticed quite a few students don't have their correct IDs, and we can help you with that. So if I show you in the beginning where we have out, one second, you can email, if you don't have your correct ID, you can email us over here. If you can see this, ukquran@gmail.com, and we'll provide you with the correct ID. The importance of this is that having the correct ID is that you'll only be called to the mic if you have the correct ID. You won't be able to come if you have a different ID. So it's really important that you do use the correct ID. And of course, it's really important to attend all of the classes, and it's really important to arrive early as well. Okay, Jazakallah, one moment, sorry. Okay, we're just going to quickly go to the schedule of our class today. So today is class number 2, and the date is the 10th of January of 2023. So we've just done the assembly, which is the opening dua and the announcements. We'll be going on to the rule in focus, and today the rule in focus is short vowels. That's for until 6:15, and then hopefully by 6:45 we would have practiced the text, which is chapter 26 today, and it's verses 9 to 16. So we'll be doing Surah Ash-Shura during this whole term, and that's chapter 26, and today the verses are 9 to 16. Onwards from there, after that we'll be doing mispronounced letter, and today's letter is the letter Tha. So I'll be spending 10 minutes just highlighting the importance of pronouncing it correctly. Then we'll go ahead and consolidate with homework, announcements, and dua, and we should hopefully, inshallah, finish at 6:55. Jazakallah for that. Okay, just on to the next part of, one second, sorry. Okay, so right, okay, so on to the short vowels. Just before we go on to that, just before we go ahead with this lesson, I just want to quickly tell you, in the chat box, you can see there's a link for attendance for today. Please do make sure that you fill in that link, because it's really important. That's the only way you can register your attendance yourself. We will be taking attendance, but it's important that you do it manually as well. So Jazakallah for that. Okay, so I hope you can see my screen. Over here we have, okay, short vowel. So that's the lesson for today. And we'll be focusing on Fatha, Kasra, and Dhamma. And these are 3 short strokes. They're also known as short vowels. So over here you can see a Fatha, a Kasra, which is underneath, and a Dhamma. Okay, so this is the Fatha. Fatha is a slanted stroke. So slanted means just slightly askew. It's not straight. You can see it's slightly going downwards, but it's placed above the letter. So you can see it sits right above a letter. The timing for this vowel is 1 second. So it is not to be prolonged more than 1 second. A letter carrying a fatha is called a maftu letter. One moment. There we go. So that's maftu. So while we're doing this whole term, we'll be teaching you new terminology, and it's really important to remember what each and every terminology that we use. So for this fatha, a letter that carries a fatha is called a maftu letter. Okay, one moment. Okay, on to the next slide. One moment. Kasra. So the next slanted stroke is a kasra. Now you'll notice that this slanted stroke, which is very similar to the fatha, is placed beneath the letter it's on. Okay, and it sits below a letter. Okay, and the timing again is 1 count. So this, and you only recite it for 1 second. A letter carrying a kasra is known as a maksur letter. So a letter carrying a fatha is called a maftu letter, and a letter carrying a kasra is called a maksur letter. Okay, and on to the dhamma. If you can see, this is shaped like a wow, a small wow. And this sound is the oo sound, and it's placed above a letter shaped, it's a wow shaped stroke. So it sits above a letter, and the timing is 1 count. A letter carrying a dhamma is known as a madmoom letter. So let me just quickly go over that again. So if you can see, a letter carrying a fatha is a maftu letter, and the sound, which I haven't gone over, is an ah sound, an ah. So for example, if a ba is carrying a fatha, it will sound like a ba. A kasra is a letter carrying a kasra is called a maksur letter. And for example, if it was a ba with a kasra, it would be a b sound, an e sound, rather than an ah, because it sits below the letter. And on to the dhamma sound, which is the wow, which will be placed above a letter, is called a madmoom, and the sound is an oo. So for example, if a ba was carrying a dhamma, it would sound like a boo. So a letter carrying a dhamma is called a madmoom letter. Okay, so just quickly go through those again. So the short vowels are 3 short strokes. They're also known as short vowels. Okay, any letter carrying a short vowel is known as a vowel letter. So this is the English. So if a letter has a stroke on it, it is called a vowel letter. It is in Arabic, it is called a mutaharrik letter. So if you see any letter that carries any of these strokes, a fatha, a kasra, a dhamma, or any other stroke, it is called a mutaharrik letter. Okay. So that's the end of that short lesson. Okay, so we're going on to the main part of our lesson today. Can I have a student to come and recite with me?
Can I request G2 733 to unmute their mic?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. So we're going to start reciting from here, and I would like to recite, and then if you could follow me. We'll start with Ta'awuz and Tasmiyah. So when we're reciting in a group, it's not necessary to recite it again, but you can recite it if it helps you to recite. I'll start again this time with Ta'awuz, and then we can continue. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Okay, Jazakallah. So while I'm reciting, can all the rest of the students make sure to follow and do recite as you listen to what we're reciting? It will help you to correct your pronunciation and to learn the words and the lessons that we're teaching you. Okay, so Inna fi dhalika.
Inna fi zalika
La ayah.
la ayah
Wa ma kana
wa ma kana
aktharuhum mu'minin.
aksaruhum mu'minin.
Okay, so Jazakallah. I'll read the next verse with you. Stay there. I'll read the next verse with you in a moment. Let me just quickly go over this verse. You read very well, and your recitation is very good. Just a quick note here. We just learned the short vowels, and this over here. Let me just change my arrow to point to the highlighter here. Okay, so this letter here. How do you pronounce this letter here?
Ru.
Well done. Okay, so what happens, even though we know the rule, sometimes while reciting, we sometimes make a mistake. In this case, you just prolonged it more than, how long did you prolong it for? Do you know?
I think I might have pronounced it for like 2 seconds.
Yes, correct. And how long is it supposed to be pronounced for?
1 second.
Well done. Okay, and what is this called, this little wow shape above the letter? What's it called? Do you know this stroke here? Yeah, that's a dhamma. And what does a letter that carries a dhamma, what is it called? It is called, yes,
I forgot.
we just went through it, yes. Madmoom letter, yes?
Like vowel was, yeah, madmoom.
Yes, it's a short vowel, well done, that's correct. But any letter that carries a dhamma is called a madmoom letter, okay?
Madmoom.
Okay, that's brilliant. Okay, let's read the next verse together. Wa inna rabbaka
Wa inna rabbaka
lahuwal azizur rahim.
lahuwal azizul hakim.
Okay. Wal azizur rahim. Do you see this alif and this lam here? Can you see they have nothing or no stroke above them? There's nothing below it or above it. They're empty letters. So we have to, there's also a shadda here. So that means we need to join this letter onto the letter previous to it that does carry a stroke. So we will be reciting this. We'll drop the alif and the lam. We'll just recite the za and the ra. Okay. Zurra.
Zurra.
Yep. Okay, wonderful. Let's read that again. رَبَّكَ لَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الرَّحِيمُ.
Rabbaka lahuwal azizur rahim.
Well done. That was really good recitation. I think we'll go ahead and read the next verse as well. وَإِذْ نَادَى.
وَإِذْ نَادَى
رَبُّكَ
Rabbuka
مُوسَى
Musa
أن ائت القوم الظالمين.
Anitil qawma zalimin.
Well done. That was really good reciting. Well done. So, Jazakallah G2 7. Jazakallah. Okay, can I have another student to the mic to practice with me?
I request G2 704 to unmute their mic.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Could you possibly raise the volume a bit somehow? Or come closer to the mic?
Is this okay?
Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so how are you?
I'm good. You?
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so shall we keep reciting? If I recite, you can follow.
Yeah.
قوم فرعون.
قوم فرعون.
Okay, so while we're reciting this raw, fir. Try not saying it multiple times. Try just saying it once and join it onto the feet in this case. قوم فرعون.
قوم فرعون.
Much better, yes. ألا يتقون.
ألا يتقون.
قال ربي.
قال ربي.
Again, the ra, Rabbi, one time. Ra, Rabbi.
ربي.
Yep, practice it one more time. Rabbi.
ربي.
Well done. قال ربي.
قال ربي.
إني أخاف أن يكذبون. Okay, well done. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly test you now. Let's see if you know what we just learned. So when you see a letter like this here, what stroke is that letter carrying?
A فترة.
Okay, yes, a fatha, that's correct. Okay, and what sound does a fatha make? Is it an a, e, or an u sound?
Ah.
Well done. Okay, and what does a letter that carries a fatha, what is it called?
Dhamma.
Okay, this here is a dhamma. This one here is a dhamma. Okay, that one there. And a letter carrying a fatha is called a maftu letter. Yes?
Okay.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, and can you tell me what is this stroke here underneath this fa?
Kasra.
Well done. And how long do we recite the kasra for?
2 seconds.
Is it 2 seconds?
Oh, no, 5.
Okay, so when we recite something like this, how long do we recite this letter, this word for?
2
This
seconds.
lam and alif.
2 seconds.
Well done. And this one here?
5 seconds.
Okay, so when you see an alif after a letter, it only prolongs it for 1 more second. And when you see a kasra, and you know it's just for 1 second, yes, it is only prolonged if it carries a letter after it that makes the elongation. So in this case, this is a kasra by itself, and it's only 1 second. Yes? Yeah?
Yeah.
How many seconds do we recite a fatha, a kasra, and a dhamma for? How many seconds?
5.
1 second, because these are the short vowels. Let me just quickly take you back to what we just learned. 1 second, sorry, there we go. Okay, do you remember what we just learned here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me take you to fatha so that it makes a bit of sense for you. Okay, so can you see the fatha is there and it sits above the letter? How long is the timing?
1 count.
Okay, and a letter carrying a fatha is called a maftu letter. Yeah.
Okay.
And again, the same thing with kasra. How long do we recite a kasra for?
1 second.
And what is a letter that carries a kasra? What's it called?
A maksur.
Well done. Okay, and same goes for dhamma. How long do we recite a dhamma for?
1 second.
Well done. And what's a letter that carries a dhamma? What's it called?
Madmu.
Correct. Okay, just remember that, because while we're practicing, I'm going to ask, and as we go, that's the lesson that we learned for today, and it would be good if you could remember, obviously. And when you're reciting, that's one of the things that you could remember. So while you're reciting at home, maybe you could practice what they're called as you recite them. Maybe you could find a fatha, a kasra, and a dhamma, and then you could remember the important points of it. So you could teach yourself or remind yourself that it's 1 second. A letter with a fatha is called a maftu letter, and a kasra letter with a kasra is called a maksur letter, and a letter with a dhamma is called a madmum letter. Yes? Okay, Jazakallah G2704, that was really good. Well done. Okay, can I have another student, please?
Can I request G2 658 to unmute their mic?
Sorry, what was the ID?
G2 658.
658, Jazakallah. Okay, G2 658.
Assalamualaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, we're going to continue reading from here. Can you see my pointer? Let me change it for you. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so do you want to go ahead and I'll recite, and if you could follow. So, قوم فرعون
قوم فرعون
ألا يتقون
ألا يتقون
قال ربي
قال ربي إني
أخاف أن يكذبون
أخاف أن يكذبون
Well done. وَيَضِيقُ صَدْرِي
وياسي
Okay, this letter here is quite tricky. It's a dad, and it's quite a thick sounding letter. Sounds a bit like a dal, but it's more pronounced from the back of and the middle of your mouth. Ya ضيق.
ويضيق
Okay, you can also say zui as well if you're comfortable with that. ويضيق
ويضيق
صدري
صدري
ولا
ولا
ينطلق
ينطلق
لساني
لساني
فأرسل
فأرسل
إلى
إلى
هارون.
هارون.
Well done. That was really good reading. Okay, so I'm going to quickly ask you, do you know what this stroke is called?
الدم
Well done. And a letter carrying that stroke, what's it called?
مضمون
Well done. Okay. And this one here, what's that stroke there?
فتحة
Well done. And a letter carrying a fatha is called a?
مفتوح.
Yes. Well done. Good learning. Well done. Good remembering there. Excellent. And this one here?
كسرة
Done. Okay. And a letter that carries a kasra, what's it called?
مكسور.
Well done. Okay, you're learning very, very well, mashallah. Okay, so Jazakallah MG2658. You're reading very well. Continue reading and remember all the things that we've learned today and remember them while you're reading. Jazakallah.
جزاك الله. الله
Okay,
حافظ.
Allah Hafiz. Can I have another student, please?
Can I request G2711 to unmute their mic?
G2711.
السلام عليكم.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
teacher.
Good. Okay. So let's go ahead and recite. So I'm going to just go back one moment. Yeah, we can recite from here. Okay. So if you want to follow after me, okay, let's start from the beginning of the verse. وَيَضِيقُ
ويضيق
صَدْرِي
صدري
وَلَا
ولا
ينطلق لساني
ينطلق لساني لي
فأرسل إلى فأر. So remember we have to join the alif, the maftu alif to the ra. Ar.
فأرسل إلى هارون
ولهم علي
ولهم علي
ذنب
ذنب.
Boom. So this hair, we pronounce it with slightly noon sound, a slight noon sound. Boom.
بوم
Let's read that together. ذنب فأخاف. ذنب فأخاف أن يقتلون.
أن يقتلون.
قال كلا
كلا
فاذهبا بآياتنا
فاذهبا بآياتنا
Well done. Inna ma'akum.
إلا معكم
Inna ma'akum.
إلا معكم
Again. Inna
إلا
ma'akum mustami'un.
معكم مستمعون.
Well done. Okay, that was really, really good reading. Okay, so just to quickly here. So this here, you see this word here. Let me just quickly swap over again. This word here. So how long do we prolong this for? Do you know? So over here we're looking at this noon. There is a maqsoor noon with a ya that carries a jazm or a sukoon above it. How long do we prolong this for? Do you know? This is for 2 seconds, okay? G2711, are you still there? I think we may have lost G2711. Can we have another student, please? You can call G2711 and back again later if you get the chance.
I request G2650 to unmute their mic.
G2650, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, so would you like to follow me if we recite together? And what I'm going to do, let me just scroll down a bit so it's easier for you. Can you see the screen well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, one moment. Right, okay. Shall we read from here? وَلَهُمْ عَلَيَّ
Walahum wa ayya
عَلَيَّ
alayya
ذَنْبٌ.
zawhum
Okay, ذَنْبٌ فَأَ. Sorry, فَأَ. ذَنْبٌ فَأَ.
zambu wa
You're doing really well. I know it's a bit tricky as well. So, خَافُوا
kafu
أَنْ يَقْتُلُونَ.
ayyatulun.
Well done. That was really, really good reading. I can see you're really good at reading. And would you like to continue? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. قَالَ كَلَّا
Qala
كَلَّا.
qala
Yeah, so we prolong this because there's an alif after it. كَلَّا.
kala
فَاذْهَبَا.
azhaba
Well done. You're doing really well because some of these letters are quite tricky, specifically this one here. This is a dhal sound. It's really softly pronounced, and you touch your tongue to the top of to the bottom of your teeth at the top. So it sounds like this. Fadh. Rather than saying fuzz, which would be a za sound, it's fadh. The, like a the, T-H-E, the sound. Do you want to try that? Fuzz.
baz
Okay, so what you have to do is, the tip of your tongue has to touch your top teeth. Try that once. Fuzz.
baz
Okay, so when you say fuzz, your tongue is touching nowhere. But if you were to touch your tongue at the top of your teeth, your top teeth, if you touch it there, fuzz, haba.
baz
Haba.
haba
Okay, well done. I know it's quite tricky, but I'm sure you'll learn in time. Bi-ayatina.
bi ayatina
Inna
inna
ma'akum.
ma'akum
Okay, And when you see a kum like this and you see a mim mushaddad over here, this is called an idgham. And this, what happens is this meme goes into that meme, but we have to hold it for 2 seconds because we have to make sure that we make the right sound for the meme. So let me teach that to you. Ma'akum wastami'un. Did you hear the meme? I held on to this meme, didn't I? Yeah? Do you want to try that? Ma'akum
Ma'akum
Well done. Tami'un.
mustami'un.
Well done. That was very, very good reading. And you're quite young, I can see, but you're learning really, really well. MashaAllah, well done. I'm just going to go through one rule here quickly because I think a couple of students made the same mistake. So I'm just going to quickly teach this one to you. So there are different types of idgham, and in this case, there are partial idghams and there are complete idgham. And idgham means to join the word on the letter onto the next letter. And when you see a shadda, that's what happens mostly. You join this letter onto the alif in this case. Can you see this letter here?
Yes.
That's what does that letter carry? Do you know what that stroke is? This one up here.
A fatha.
Well done. And a letter that carries a fatha, what's it called? Do you know? It's called a maftu letter, yes? Yeah? Maftu. Some of these words are going to be tricky for you, but we'll keep repeating and hopefully you remember them in time. This is a maftu alif, and so we're going to say ah to it, but we need to join it onto the ya because it's carrying a shadda. In between it, you'll see there's a noon sakin. In this case, there's a slight nasal sound, and how we join this onto the ya is like this. Sorry. Ya. So you can hear the slight noon sound because it's a ya that follows the noon sakin. Okay, it really matters what letter's coming. In this case, this is how we pronounce it. Ya. Do you want to try that?
Yeah.
Ya.
Anya.
Well done. You picked up the nasal sound really, really well. So it's a really soft nasal sound. You can still hear it. Okay. So when you see a ya with a shadda and a noon sakin before it, you know you have to pronounce the noon ever so slightly. Okay. And you need to give it 2 seconds so that you can pronounce the noon effectively. Aya.
Anya.
Well done. Okay. Let's read this whole part of this verse. Fa'akhafu.
Fa'akhafu
أن يقتلون.
an yaqtulun.
Well done. Okay, so this sound was a slight jerk, so it's really soft jerk. Yaqtulun. Do you want to read that again? Yaqtulun.
Yaqtulun.
Yaq. So the qaf with a slight jerk sound to it. So it's not yaqa, it's yaq. Yeah? Try that once. Yaq. Tulun.
Yaqtulun.
Well done. That was really, really good reading. So well done, G2650. Keep up the good work and keep on reciting. And remember all the rules you've learned today. Jazakallah. Okay, can I have another student, please?
I request G2695 to unmute their mic.
Okay, G2695. If you just wait a minute. Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Alhamdulillah. So we're just going to recite from the top again. So you can see my screen clearly?
Yes.
Okay, let's read that then. Inna fi dhalika la ayah.
Yeah.
So this is a lam and this is an alif, and we prolong it for 2 seconds. La ayah. It's okay, it can be quite tricky sometimes. So the first one is a lam, the second one is an alif. This is a la, and what does this la have above it? And what is the la? When a letter carries a fatha, what is it called? Maftuh. So M-U-F-T-U-H. So there's no ra in it. Maftuh. So well done for remembering that. This here is recited for how long? 1 second, okay? This one here you can see is an ishbaya, which is a vertical fatha. It's the same type of stroke, but it's standing vertically. That means we have to recite it for 2 seconds. So if you read this like this, la well done. Not too long, just 2 seconds. La well done. Wa ma kana aktharuhum mu'minin. Mu'minin. Well done. Okay. We'll read one more verse, and then we'll go over the rules with this one. So, wa inna rabbaka lahuwal azizur rahim. Rahim. Well done. That was really good reading. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly highlight a couple of things here. So when we just did that lesson of the mispronounced letters, which letter was it? Do you remember? It was this letter here. Can you see that one? What's that letter there? Do you know what it is? I've just highlighted it. This one here.
Don't know which letter.
But when you recited it, because you were listening to me, you recited it very well. You recited it correctly. So this letter is a letter tha. Okay, so sorry, we haven't actually done that. So we're sorry, we haven't done that lesson yet, but we'll just do it in about 5 minutes. So this letter here is a tha. How it's pronounced is we put our tongue at the tip of our teeth, and slight air passes through our mouth, and we just say tha, tha. Yeah, so it's not a sa, which it often gets confused with. It's a tha. Yeah, well done. That was really good pronunciation. Okay, so everybody, you should be practicing these letters as we go. Everything that I'm teaching is for everybody, and if you could follow as well, so that would be beneficial to you. Okay, and the next thing I wanted to teach you, so you can see over here, you can see a waw and a hamza and a sukoon. So we read this. Do you know how to read this letter here? What do we read?
You read the hamza.
Well done. Okay, and why do we read the hamza and not the waw? We read it because the waw is just like, and a good example is a chair. Okay, so imagine as if you're sitting on the chair, and the chair is the waw, and you are the hamza, okay? And when we make a sound, it's you that makes the sound, not the chair. So the hamza is what will make the sound, and the sukoon tells you have to join it onto the letter previous to it, okay? So do you want to read this for me quickly? So from here, hum, let's see if you can read that correctly. Hum mu'minin. Again? Well done. Okay, so do you understand that? Yeah, so it's a soft jerk sound with this hamza, and it's slight. We have to join it onto the letter prior to it because it carries a sukoon, and sukoon means a slight pause. So we connect it with a slight pause. So this is how we pronounce this hamza over here. So we're talking about this letter. Let me highlight it so that everybody knows what we're talking about. There we go. Okay, let me read that for you again. Hum mu'minin. Well done. Okay, and right next to it you will see a letter that is a letter of idgham. Over here you can see two memes together. In this case, this meme goes into that meme because we're going to join it together with this one, but we have to join this meme onto this ha. So hum mu'minin. In order to give it the correct pronunciation, which is a nasal meme sound, you have to give it 2 seconds. So, do you want to try that? Hum mu'minin.
مؤمنين.
Well done. That was really, really good learning. Well done, G2695. Jazakallah. Allah Hafiz. Could I have one more student, please?
Can I request G2745 to unmute their mic?
G2745. Assalamu alaikum. G2745. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Okay, so would you like to just recite with me? And I'll recite first and you can go ahead and recite after me, yeah?
Okay.
Wa inna
وَإِنَّ
rabbaka
رَبَّكَ
lahuwal azizur rahim.
لَهُ
One. Azizur
العزيز
rahim. Okay. Wa idh nada
وَإِذْ نَادَى
rabbuka Musa
رَبَّكُ مُوسَى
rabbuka Musa
كموسى
ani'til qawma
أن القوم
mazzalimin.
مظلمين.
Okay, mazwa and li mean.
مظلمين.
Well done, excellent. Okay, I noticed you pronounced this letter very well. So you pronounced it id, and that's how we say that letter. So well done for that, and your recitation is very good. So when you see a letter over here, so this is a kasra beneath a lam. How do you pronounce this letter? This one here. So we pronounce it li with 1 second, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Jazakallah, that's really good reading. And just a quick reminder over here as well, we see a Hamza with a sukoon and it's got a slight sort of a rounded shape here, but we read that it's just the Hamza. Okay, Jazakallah G2745. Good reading, keep it up. Okay, so on to the mispronounced letters. So part of our learning, we will be teaching you the 10 most mispronounced letters in the Holy Quran. Some letters are different and they sound very different to what we're used to. And as we go along, we should be teaching you. Today's letter is the letter Tha. And you can see it highlighted there. So it's a letter of the tongue. So it's really important, and different letters are pronounced from different parts of the mouth. Some are pronounced from the lips, some are pronounced from using the tongue, some are pronounced from the middle of the mouth and the throat, and some are nasal as well. And in this case, this letter is formed it's a letter of the tongue. And why we say that? Because the tongue is used to recite this letter. So oftentimes people confuse this letter with the letter seen. And you can hear the sound of the seen, which is a 3-pronged letter over here. It sounds like a clear s sound. S. My tongue isn't touching anywhere. You can hear a slight whistle sound, and breath is leaving my lips because I'm not touching anywhere on my tongue anywhere in my mouth. So the sound is seen. So we do not pronounce this letter Tha as a seen. It's often confused. So if you just quickly go through this, the tip of the tongue slightly comes out of the mouth and softly touches the upper teeth. Air should escape when pronounced properly. So I'm going to quickly pronounce this letter for you, this one that's just highlighted, the Tha. And this is the letter we're looking at to pronounce it correctly. You can see it's a boat shape with 3 dots on top. This letter is the letter Tha, Tha. So rather than saying S, which is this sound here, we say tha. I want everybody to practice that. I'm going to quickly read this to you again so you can understand what you're doing. Go slowly. The tip of the tongue slightly comes out of the mouth and softly touches the upper teeth. So, you know, the top part, your teeth, your top teeth, your tongue should touch just the tip of them at the top. So touch your tongue there now, everybody. And then air should escape when you pronounce it. So you should be saying tha, tha, rather than sa, which is a clear s sound. It's tha. That's the correct way to pronounce this letter. And inshallah, I think next time you should be learning a different letter. Just one moment. So that's the letter tha. Oops. Okay, one moment. We're just going to quickly, I'm just having a bit of trouble here. One moment. Okay, so we're just going to quickly read this to you so that you get a better understanding of what we're learning. I'm just going to go through it quickly. One moment. Sorry. Okay. So it's very important to, sorry, one moment. So 10 most mispronounced letters. Today's letter is the letter tha. It is very important to take good care of the similar sounding letters below in the pronunciation of the Holy Quran. During the recitation, great attention should be given to the following letters. Okay, so here we have all of the 10 letters we'll be concentrating on, and today's letter is the letter tha. Okay, one moment. Okay, can I have a student so we can actually practice this letter?
I request G2735 to unmute their mic.
G2735.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm well. So would you like to read to me these letters here?
Yeah. Bassa.
Okay. Okay, so if you remember correctly, so this is what we're learning. So oftentimes we make that mistake of reading the tha as a sa, and the tip of the tongue for the tha, the tip of the tongue slightly comes out of the mouth and softly touches the upper teeth, and air should escape when pronounced correctly. So this is how we pronounce this letter here, over here. Whoops, sorry about that. This is how we pronounce this letter here, batha. Bassa. So this one above here is how you're pronouncing it, bassa. Yeah, that's a clear s sound. We pronounce this letter, this one with the 3 dots above it, we pronounce this batha, th. Yeah? It's a really soft sound. So you touch your teeth to the top of touch the tip of your tongue to the top of your to the tip of your top teeth. Try that once. Yeah, now say batha.
Bassa.
Okay, so what happens, you'll pick it up as you go along. We'll practice it though. You can try your best, that's fine. One moment. Okay, so we're going to read them together. Batha.
Bassa.
And bassa.
Bassa.
So there has to be a difference. Batha.
Bassa.
And bassa.
Bassa.
Okay, so we read this as batha.
Bassa.
Rather than a sa, try and say it like a th with a slight sort of s sound in it. Batha.
Bassa.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, so you've got the sound right at the end of what you just said. So we try this one. Itha.
Issa.
Itha.
Itha.
Well done. Again.
Itha.
Well done. That's the sound that we're looking for. So one more time.
Itha.
Okay, and how do we pronounce this one? Issa. That's different to that one. So issa.
Issa.
We don't pronounce this one like this. So do you want to pronounce this one? Let's see if you can read this bit.
Itha.
Well done. So that's, you corrected it, and that was really good correction. Ithaqaltum.
Ithaqaltum.
We can make the mistake of going back to this one, which is not what we want to do. So the best thing to do is just remember what you're reading.
Ithaqaltum.
Yeah, well done. Okay, can you read the next one?
Bathia.
Okay, so how do we join this onto this? We're going to read it as bathi, yeah? But then you have to prolong it because there's a ya there. Bathi,
Basi.
bathi. Remember, we're pronouncing it as a th sound. Bathi.
Basi.
Well done. Next one. Fatamathala.
Fatamasada.
Mathala.
Masala.
Remember, that's a massa. This is a matha.
Masala.
Well done. Again. Fatamathala.
Fatamasala.
Well done. Okay. Mumbatha.
Mumbasa.
Batha. Th sound. Again. Try that again. Mumbatha.
Mumbasa.
Well done. Okay, that's much, much better. So just remember to touch your tongue to the top of the tip of your top teeth. Remember to do that. So when we say teeth, when you say teeth, does your tongue touch your teeth at the top, at the end? Teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say that one time. Teeth.
Teeth.
Yeah, that's the sound that you need, the one at the end. So we don't say teeth, we say teeth. Yeah, that was a good reminder how we can remember that. Try that one more time. Mumbatha.
Mumbasa.
Well done. Excellent. Okay, Jazakallah G2735. That was really good. Well done, because you corrected that sound. It was quite tricky to learn, but well done for learning that. Allah Hafiz. Okay, so on to the next part of our class. So we've come to the end of our class for today. And just as a reminder, we're going to go through what we've learned. So today, the rule that we learned today was short vowels. How many short vowels are there? There are 3 short vowels. Letters carrying short vowels are known as voweled letters in English or mutaharrik in Arabic. And the references you can find in the book Talimul-Quran, lessons 5 to 7 on pages 45 to 53. If you want to revise it, this book is available online, and you can also click, I think, over here on this one here, and it will take you directly to the Talimul-Quran, so that you can learn from online if you don't have the book. The practice text for today was chapter 26, verse 9 to 16, and the letter that we learnt today was tha. So the reference in Talimul-Quran, again, pages 94 to 98. And the homework for today, as always, your homework's going to stay the same. You will need to practice today's verses, apply the rules we have revised so far in your daily tilawat. Pay attention to the timing of the short vowels. So remember, 1 second only for the short vowels. Okay, Jazakallah. Can I have a student for the end prayer for today, please?
I request G2 672 to unmute their mic.
Sorry, what was the ID? Walaikum Assalam. What's your ID? G2?
G2 672.
672. Okay, Jazakallah. So do you want to recite after me? Allahumma arhamni.
Allahumma arhamni
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim.
Bil-Qur'an al-Azim.
Waj'alhu li imaman wa nuran wa hudan wa rahmah. Jazakallah. Do you want to recite the English for that?
O Allah, have mercy on me through the Quran and the great, and make it for me the leader, the light, the guidance, and the mercy.
Okay, Jazakallah, Jazakallah G2672. And Jazakallah to all the students. Do practice what we've learned today at home and making sure that you remember the short vowels while you're reciting. And Jazakallah for joining today's class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.